It happened. Iranian missiles officially strike U.S. military base in Bahrain, the world immediately shaken. The world has once again been shocked by a major escalation in the Middle East. Tensions between Iran and the United States have now entered a far more dangerous phase. On Saturday, February 28, 2026, shocking reports emerged: Iranian missiles struck a U.S. military base in Bahrain. This attack is being described as one of the boldest and most high-risk military actions in recent years. The Persian Gulf region was instantly placed on high alert. The international community is holding its breath. Timeline of events. According to multiple regional security sources, the missiles were launched late at night local time. The target was a U.S. military facility in Bahrain, long considered a critical hub for American operations in the Gulf. Explosions were reportedly heard from miles away. Warning sirens echoed across military installations. Air defense systems were activated within seconds. There has been no official confirmation regarding the exact number of missiles launched, but reports suggest that more than one projectile entered Bahraini airspace. The U.S. base in Bahrain, a strategic target. Bahrain plays a crucial role in America's military presence in the Middle East. The country hosts the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet, the backbone of American naval operations in the Gulf, the Arabian Sea, and surrounding waters. The presence of U.S. forces and warships in Bahrain has long served as a strategic counterbalance to Iran. An attack on this facility is not an ordinary message. It is a powerful signal. The United States response. Shortly after reports of the strike surfaced, U.S. defense officials stated they were conducting a full damage assessment and investigation. Washington emphasized that any attack against American personnel or facilities would receive a firm response. Within hours of the incident, U.S. military movements in the region reportedly increased. Surveillance aircraft and fighter jets were placed on high alert. Warships in the Persian Gulf elevated their readiness levels. The big question now is this the beginning of open conflict? Iran's position. In the immediate aftermath, Iranian authorities did not release detailed official statements. However, media outlets close to Tehran described the action as a response to ongoing provocations and sustained pressure. Relations between the two nations have long been strained. Economic sanctions, proxy conflicts, and previous military incidents have steadily worsened tensions. This latest strike could mark a dangerous turning point. Immediate global impact. As news of the attack spread, global markets reacted instantly. Crude oil prices surged sharply amid fears of supply disruptions from the Gulf, a vital artery of the world's energy trade. Stock markets in several countries faced pressure as investors moved towards safe haven assets like gold. European and Asian nations called for restraint from both sides, warning that open conflict would severely destabilize the global economy. Bahrain's sensitive position. As host to the U.S. base, Bahrain now finds itself in a delicate position. The government has heightened national security and is closely monitoring developments. Civilian populations are reported to be safe, but tension is palpable in the capital and surrounding areas. Bahrain does not want its territory to become a battlefield between two major powers. Just hours after the missile strike on the U.S. military base in Bahrain, governments around the world responded with urgent statements and strategic actions. This is no longer a regional incident, it is shaping into a global security crisis. United Nations calls emergency meeting. The United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session late last night. Representatives from major powers including the United States, Russia, China, France, and the United Kingdom addressed the assembly. In an emotional address, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations condemned the attack as a clear violation of international norms, calling for accountability and restraint. However, not all members agreed on a unified course of action. Differences over how to handle Iran have once again exposed deep divisions within the Security Council. Diplomats warned that the world is witnessing a precarious moment, one that could define international stability for years to come. Shield Europe and Asia respond. European Union foreign ministers issued a statement urging de-escalation and diplomacy. They expressed serious concerns about the potential for the conflict to spread beyond the Middle East. Meanwhile, several Asian governments, including Japan, South Korea, and India, expressed alarm over potential disruptions to energy supplies and global trade. Crude oil markets, already spiking, reacted further as traders anticipated extended instability. Israel, a key regional player, has reportedly raised its military alert level. Though no official military deployment has been confirmed, intelligence sources indicate heightened readiness across multiple defense fronts. Analysts suggest Israel is preparing for possible spillover effects, especially attacks on its northern borders or cyber operations targeting critical infrastructure. Warning U.S. defense deployments increase. According to defense sources, the United States has ordered additional aircraft carriers and missile defense systems to the region as a precautionary measure. U.S. Central Command is closely monitoring all Iranian military movements. Patriot missile batteries and Terminal High-Altitude Area Defense (THAAD) systems are being positioned to protect key bases and allied forces. Officials stress that these deployments are defensive in nature, but clearly signal that the U.S. is preparing for every contingency. Chart decreasing economic fallout expands. The financial impact of the crisis is spreading rapidly. Oil prices reached multi-year highs as risk premiums surged. Stock markets in Europe and Asia fell sharply on renewed geopolitical fears. Major shipping companies began rerouting vessels to avoid the Strait of Hormuz, increasing delivery times and shipping costs. Economic analysts warn that prolonged tension could trigger inflationary pressures globally, especially on fuel, manufacturing, and food supply chains. Diplomatic backchannels open. Despite the rising tensions, signs of diplomatic communication have emerged behind the scenes. Sources within Middle Eastern diplomatic circles say that secret talks between regional powers are underway to prevent further escalation. Countries such as Qatar, Oman, and Switzerland are reportedly attempting to act as intermediaries. These back-channel communications indicate that some governments fear a full conflict and are urgently seeking a peaceful resolution. Beyond the explosions and visible military maneuvers lies a dimension rarely seen by the public: intelligence operations and cyber warfare. Security analysts report that prior to the missile strike, suspicious cyber activity surged across the Gulf region. Radar systems, military communication networks, and even energy infrastructure experienced increased digital intrusion attempts. If confirmed, this would indicate that modern conflict is no longer defined solely by missiles and fighter jets, but also by control of the digital battlefield. A kinetic strike on the ground may have been preceded by invisible operations in cyberspace.